Hey y'all, today I will be working on 3 high-end Halloween dupes and I will be doing it on a budget. 2 of them come from Anthropologie, the other one is from Potterybarn. This one is Anthropologie. It is a black cat candy bowl and it has extended ears off the side of the bowl. I thrifted this pumpkin for $2. However, I was looking for a medium-sized fish bowl and I was trying to buy it as cheap as possibly, but for retail it cost $20. So I purchased this pumpkin instead. It would have been a lot easier to use a glass fish bowl than this pumpkin because it had recessed parts in it that I had to use clay to fill in to make it as flat as possible. The one from Anthropologie looks like it might be paper mache, so I put a little extra clay all the way around it, and then I do this texture with baking soda and black paint and cover the pumpkin with it. I wanted to figure out a template for the cat ears, so I started working on it. You will see like multiple versions as I continue to work on this, and then at the end I do it with a thin cardboard. I used a cereal box and I just cut it out just to give it a little bit more structure. going to try to get both of the eyes the same size. So I measure out 2.5 inches from near the nose, and so that it kind of looks similar. I will list all the products used in this tutorial down below. I do use some older paint, so if I can still find it, I will list it. I purchased this green paint to help match what I saw on my phone. I did have to add a little bit of fluorescent green. You'll see me mix that in together and repaint it. And it helped lighten it up and make it match a little better. But the only two items that I purchased was the pumpkin and the paint, and it was less than $3 to make this black cat candy bowl. Here I'm using a hole puncher to make a hole for the ribbon, and then I'm using this black Rust-Oleum paint to paint the inside of the candy dish. Here I find a better way to figure out the contour of the pumpkin, and then I cut it out and attach it to my original template. Here I am using my Titebond glue as well as hot glue so I can get it to set quick as possible. I used the baking soda and the black paint to texturize where I attached the cat ears to make it look like one piece. I did a clear coat matte finish over the whole cat to protect the work that I did, and I added a ribbon to it and filled it with candy. Here is the finished look. This next project is a spider geranium from Anthropologie, and when you purchase this for $64, you get it empty. What's inside in the picture, you do not get. I will be making the spider out of this DOS clay. I started rolling this out and I realized that my spider was not going to be flat on top. It needed to be rounded, so I redid it. The body was too thick, so I ended up cutting it in half. Hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy with this, but I'm rolling them out. I have 8 legs to make, and first thing I do with the cloche, when I start making the legs, I cover it with saran wrap so that I can put the spider on top and attach the legs, and then I can let that sit. As it starts to dry, it will conform to the glass, and then I can then remove it from the cloche and then paint the underside, because that will be seen as you turn the cloche. So it needs to be painted underneath before we officially attach it to the glass. And I have a wet paper towel here because it takes so long to roll this out and to form them into the legs. And I just continually put them underneath the wet paper towel. I've already attached some of the legs, so I'm getting ready to attach the 2 very back legs so I can show you all. I had to make some more cuts, and then I put glue on it, and then I just sit it underneath the body of the spider. And you will notice that the back 2 legs is spread out too far, so after I remove the spider, after it's dried some, I will push those legs back further to meet up with the other 2 hind legs. I am smashing down the clay as well as gluing underneath the spider body, and I'm attaching masking tape to keep the bottom of the legs curled in to conform to the glass. I don't want this to dry too quickly. I don't want it to crack. So I wrap it completely with wet paper towels, and I will let it sit overnight. Now I am painting the bottom of the cloche. As I start to remove the tape, you can see that it is not fully dry, which is a good thing because it's still, clay is still kind of pliable, and I can conform it to the glass in the end. One tip I do want to give you is when you remove the legs, to put them in the order that they need to go back on, because I had a really hard time trying to figure out where the legs went, because some are longer than others. The front legs are shorter, and yeah, it would have helped out knowing exactly where they are supposed to go. Here I am removing the glued parts of the leg out from under the bug body, so that the open cavity will be now open again to glue the legs back on. And here I am painting all the way around the legs, because you will see the bottom of the legs as well as the top. As you just saw, one of the legs did break, but that's okay. We can attach it back together, and you'll start to notice that the spider legs, as I'm lifting the body and putting a leg under it, it's loosening it up, and legs start to slide down. So I have to reposition them back up under the body, and then I start using masking tape to hold them in. Where I removed the masking tape, it did pull off some of the gold paint, so I go back and touch it up. Here I am decorating inside. I know I don't have to do this since it's not part of Anthropologie's cost of the item, but I already owned the battery operated lights and the Spanish moss, but I did purchase the reindeer moss, and ended up costing under $16 to make. And I feel like this can be all around, all year around decor. It did in the pictures have a butterfly, but I could not find a butterfly. It is almost fall here, so I end up putting just a spider inside. I hope you like it. This last project is from Potterybarn. It is this cute little ghost and pumpkin garland for $59. And I happened to find this jute string and these wooden beads at the Goodwill for $3.99. And I thought of that project because I really love those ghosts and the pumpkin garland. So I am going to be making it here today. And I only paid $4 total for this project. The one from Potterybarn, it says that it's 72 inches long and 4.5 inches tall, and it is made with gourds. Mine are not gourds, and mine are not 4.5 inches tall. Mine are more 2 inches. But I love the look, and it didn't matter to me if they were gourds or that tall. I just liked the design of the ghost and the pumpkins. So I figured I would just make this as well for this video. I will be using some of the lighter color beads from that pack, and I will be using tin foil to bulk them up. I've already made all the ghost and the pumpkin except for one each so I could show you on the video, and all I will be doing is wrapping the bead, and I will be bulking it up where it needs to be bulked, and then I will put a little skewer through the hole where the rope needs to go because it is a bead underneath it. picked out all the beads that I wanted to use, and I didn't have any extra raffia, so I pulled it out of that flower arrangement that you just saw me show in the video. And then I use hot glue and start wrapping the ghost and the pumpkins around until I cover up the foil. If there's a little bit of foil peeking through, that's okay, because each one of these will get paint. I'll paint the ghost white, of course, and then the pumpkins orange. And for the pumpkins, I will be cutting these skewers, making little stems for them, and I will glue those in. If I had purchased all of these Halloween decor items, it would have costed $181 before tax. And since I DIY'd them, it only costed me $25. These are so cute. I absolutely loved making it. It was very simple. and I love it on my fireplace. I'm not sure how much stock Pottery Barn had on these, but they've already sold out of what they could handcraft. I went to get the link to these and to put it into my description, and I got the message. I had a hard time finding it, and I finally found it. It says they are no longer available, as you can see here, due to limited availability. They're no longer being sold at $59. This is an easy DIY project, so if you really like it, I would make it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out, and I hope you have a great evening. Thank you.